We are now 148 overall, 18 and 6 on props, and we've turned $100 into 432. Welcome back to GM Vision. Today we're going to be going through our Week 11 bets, going through our prop bets, our spread bets, and our anytime touchdown scores, and we're going to have a parlay for each one. If you haven't already, go check out my Week 11 picks video where I break down each game. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way in helping the channel, and let's get right into the picks. We're going to start off with Keenan Allen going over 37.5 receiving yards against the Jaguars. The Jaguars have had one of the worst pass defenses statistically this year. They really struggle against receivers that are good at finding the holes in zone coverage. That just so happens to be what Keenan Allen excels at. I see him going over this mark in this game. Then we have Jahmyr Gibbs going over 63.5 rushing yards. Going up against the Eagles this weekend, it's going to be two very physical teams going head-to-head. The Lions are going to want to establish a run, and I think they do that in this one. Jahmyr Gibbs has gone over this mark a ton of times in his career, and I think he does it again. And we could even look at his total yards, because I think he'll have some receiving in this game as well. Then we have Jamar Chase going over 93.5 receiving yards. That is a big mark, but they're going up against the Steelers secondary that gives up a lot of yards to wide receiver ones. The connection between Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase has been growing ever since he got to Cincinnati. They finally have a quarterback that can push the ball down the field. Jake Browning wasn't doing the job, and it really showed when they were struggling to get Jamar Chase the football. He's one of the best receivers in football. I think he takes advantage of the Steelers secondary in this divisional matchup. Then we have Oronde Gaston going over 50.5 receiving yards. He's going up against the Jaguars. They've been bad against tight ends all year long. They gave up a bunch of yards last week to Dalton Schultz. The prior week, they gave up over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns to Brock Bowers. They weren't able to contain the Rams or the Seahawks tight ends, and it's just been a mismatch for them all year long. Gadsden's really been taken off in his rookie year. He had a down game last week, but I think he'll bounce back in this one and have a big game. Then we have Josh Allen going up against the Bucs to go over 33.5 rushing yards. I think this will be a tight game, a little bit back and forth. I think Josh Allen will have to make some plays with his legs to win the game, and that's where I think he goes over that 33.5 rushing yard mark. So we put together a parlay of my favorite 3 picks. You got Oronde Gaston going over 50.5 receiving yards, Jamar Chase going over 93.5 receiving yards, and Josh Allen going over the 33.5 rushing yards. That'll turn $100 into 681. I really like Gadsden, and I really like Jamar Chase. So for that third spot, you could really sub Gibbs or Keenan Allen instead of Josh Allen. Now for our spread bets. We have Tampa plus 5.5 on the road in Buffalo. Tampa's getting a little bit healthier. I think that'll help them keep this game close. But this line could be a little bit risky because I think it's going to be a shootout. Tampa might be getting Bucky Irvin back in this one. If they do, that'll be a big boost to their offense. And I see them scoring enough points to hang around. Then we have the Chiefs minus 3.5 on the road in Denver. This is a divisional matchup, so it could end up being close. And Denver's defense is playing really well. But the Chiefs are coming off a loss against Buffalo. I feel like they have something to prove. And Denver's offense is just not able to score points. And if this Chiefs offense continues to click as it's been, I think they wear down this Broncos defense as the game goes on and they start to put up points late. And I don't think Denver's offense is going to be able to do the same to the Chiefs. So we got them minus 3.5 on the road. Then we have the Lions plus 2.5 on the road in Philadelphia. I think the Lions are playing a lot better football right now. I think they're the better team. There's a lot of drama going around in Philadelphia. I think they take advantage of that and end up covering the 2.5 points. The Eagles have really not been able to get Saquon Barkley going consistently this year. But when they've needed to, they've found a way to get it done through the air. So I think they'll have some success in this game. I think it'll be a competitive game. Also a pretty high scoring one. But I think the Lions score more on offense and do enough to win the game. So we're definitely going to take them plus 2.5. Finally, we have the Seahawks plus 3.5 on the road in LA. We have all road teams on the slate, which is not always the best. But these are 4 really good teams. The Seahawks are going up against a tough Rams team that's been scoring a lot of points. But the Seahawks have been just as hot as of late. I think they continue to get JSN the ball, and this one becomes a shootout. And I like Seattle's defense more than I like the Rams in this one. I think they end up winning this game, and they cover the 3.5 points. I think both teams will struggle to run the ball. And it'll end up coming down to who turns the ball over more. And I think the Rams will turn the ball over more than the Seahawks. So we put together an alt parlay. It's a little bit safer. The Bucs plus 13.5. The Lions plus 7, and the Seahawks plus 9.5. That'll turn $100 into 257. Finally, we have our anytime touchdown scores. Starting off with Jalen Hurts to get in the end zone. It seems like he always finds a way to get a tush-push touchdown in big games. I think he'll do it again in this big matchup against the Lions. And then while I don't have Saquon Barkley having a huge game against the Lions, I think he will get in the end zone. The Eagles are going to try to control the clock and run the football until they have to throw the football if they're down. I think Saquon Barkley gets in the end zone early. Then I have Keenan Allen getting a touchdown against the Jaguars for similar reasons like I talked about before. He's one of the best in the NFL in finding spots in zone coverage. I think when the Chargers get down in the red zone, that Jags run defense will stiffen up, forcing them to throw the football, and I think Justin Herbert will find Keenan Allen. And then finally, we have Josh Allen touchdown. Like we talked about, this is a big game against the Bucs. He steps up in big games, and I think he wills his team to a win and scores one rushing touchdown or even more. So finally, we have a huge parlay. We have Jalen Hurts touchdown, a Keenan Allen touchdown, and a Josh Allen touchdown. That'll turn $100 into $1,239. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way in helping this channel. Down in the comments, drop some of your favorite prop bets, spread bets, and anytime touchdown scores. Also drop some of your favorite parlays. Also go check out my Week 11 Picks video where I break down each game. That's all I got for you, and I'll see you in Week 12.